What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So Vel'Koz, this is the League of Legends champion I'm going to be covering from the Void today. The final champion I'm going to be covering from the Void as well. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what I always do, which is go through the bio, go through his story, and any and every other available content that he has. I will timestamp the whole thing as I always do. And yeah, I've got a little bit of nice animation there from Vel'Koz. Only by destruction is truth revealed. Okay, so let's kick things off with the bio. So, the Eye of the Void. So, to truly understand the horror that is Vel'Koz, one must first know of the Watchers and how they were blinded to the mortal realm. Beyond the material plane, outside and somehow below it, lies the unknowable abyss. It is the realm of the Void, where no mortal or immortal creature may ever walk. Okay, it is not necessary to know how such a place ever came to be, nor why, only that it did. The Void is eternal, the Void consumes all. In that place, in the cold, endless dark, all is equal and empty. For timeless eons there is purity in that fact. There was peace in such a term, if such a term could have any meaning there. Then something changed, okay? Not in the void realm, but elsewhere. It was existence, it was something. Where before there had been nothing, and its mere presence scraped against the vast cold formless entities that drifted in the blackness. Before this, they had not even been fully aware of their own sentience, and yet now they knew that they could not tolerate the presence of this other place, this other realm of mercurial, overwhelming creation. Okay, the entities watched, they scrutinized. Okay, and soon enough the Watchers found themselves. Who are these Watchers? I'm sure it was mentioned in the most recent cinematic as well. The Watchers found themselves being scrutinized in return. Ooh. The tiny mortal minds that reached out to them were insignificant, little more than fleeting motes of light at the very edges of the abyss. Yet in them the Watchers saw a chance to invade the material realm, to destroy it, to silence the intolerable pulsing of reality beyond the Void. So by the sounds of it, the Watchers are part of the Void. The boldest of them tore up in the veil and hurled themselves upward, only to be horribly disorientated by the sudden shift between the abyss and the corporeal, linear nature of reality. In an instant there was time and heat and pain. Then there was only cold. The way was shut and dozens of the Watchers were trapped in the liminal space between two realms, frozen in the moment of transition. Okay. Those that remained in the Void recoiled. They had no concept of what happened, yet they knew they had been betrayed, and so they adapted. Reaching into the material realm, the Watchers took from the crude matter that comprised it, shaping, corrupting, and imbuing it with consciousness. These constructs were the first of the Voidborn and would be their masters' eyes and ears, sent forth into the nightmare of existence to watch, listen, and learn. Okay, so, among them one stands apart, as perhaps the oldest surviving Voidborn, certainly existing the longest outside of the abyss. He has been known by countless names to those unfortunate enough to encounter him. Thousands of years before Ikathia unleashed the Void in battle, the primitive creatures of Shurima feared the devil Vel'Koz, who crept forth from the underworld to steal the dreams of wiser men. Though his name has no literal translation in the modern tongue, it equates roughly as to understand by unmaking, because he talks about destruction. To understand by unmaking. His insatiable hunger for knowledge has led Vel'Koz across the world to its highest peaks and darkest depths. Cunning and methodical, he has quietly watched entire civilizations rise, stagnate, and decay. Spent centuries combing the ocean floor for its secrets, even screwing the movements of the stars in the heavens above him. Scrying, is it? He carries all this knowledge back to the great rift in the fabric of Runeterra, so that the Watchers might know what he knows and will annihilate without hesitation any mortal who stands in his path. For the void is eternal and it will consume all. Okay, so these watchers, they clearly have the power. They're like the gods that created the Voidborn, one of them being Vel'Koz. But they can't go into the material realm, is that right? They can't be unleashed? Okay, interesting. Interesting. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to Vel'Koz's skins. Let's go. Okay, so this is Vel'Koz's base skin, or original skin. If it is unclear if Vel'Koz was the first Voidborn to emerge from Runeterra, well, the bio kind of says that, but there has certainly never been an other to match his level of cruel, calculating sentience. While his kin devour or defile everything around them, he seeks instead to scrutinize and study the physical realm, and the strange warlike beings that dwell there, for any weakness the void might exploit. But Vel'Koz is far from a passive observer, striking back at threats with deadly plasma or by disrupting the very fabric of the world itself. Interesting, and I'm liking the base skin. It reminds me of the machines in the Matrix. Next, what? Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Here we go. This looks exactly like it. Clearly, that's inspiration. Battlecast Vel'Koz, an airborne data collection unit based on the now extinct Vel'Koz lifeform. These Battlecast monstrosities sweep their concentrated energy beams over heavily populated areas. Surveying data from the lifeless wreckage automatically calibrates the entire fleet's weapon systems, making the unit a deadlier threat with every skirmish. Yeah, shout out to Matrix and kind of Terminator Flex as well. Ooh, Arclight. A sublime being of living energy, Vel'Koz is subject to legend, myth and worship. Once every millennia he descends to the mortal plane, choosing these worthy enough to carry out his inscrutable will, and transforming them into creatures of transcendent power. The Arclight. Okay, cool, and you can see that's obviously happening to one of them there. Nice. What do we have here? Definitely not Vel'Koz. I am a laser squid, I am a man. So the complete opposite of it. Is that him there? Wow. Top right. Wow. Okay. Infernal. So, Scarce is known of Vel'Koz owing to the fact that most who witness him combust at his okay, that would be the reason why, at his mere presence. What is known, however, is that the cataclysmic titan can level entire civilizations with his incinerating gaze, leaving on a smouldering ruin. Woe be to those fixed in the behemoth's infernal gaze, for there will be no remains left to bury. Next one, what do we have here? Black forests. Nice. Beneath the ice they slumber, trapped as two worlds passed by, watching, waiting for the day they will arise again, and all will be buried in ice. I like that one. Nice. A nice contrast between Infernal and you kind of got your Black Frost. Nice contrast there. So, is that the end? I thought it would have had more than that, but okay, cool. So, pardon me. So, top 3 skins. Number 3 would have to... number 3 would have to be Arclight. That would be my number 3. My number 2 actually would be this one. I really like this one. Battlecast. Like I said, it gives me memories of good films I've watched in the past. So that's Battlecast. And number 1 for me is Black Forest. I really do like this one. Infernal's good, but yeah, Black Forest will be my number 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his login theme and then his story. Let's go. Okay. Okay. let me pause here quickly and say, at least with this one, I can kind of follow it. I did the reaction and review of Cho'Gath a few weeks back, and Cho'Gath Dark Star login theme, crazy. It was good, but it was all over the place. At least this one's got some kind of, yeah, cool. Animation's cool as well. I like it. Good. So, I believe this animation is about 6-7 years old, or this video. Good. For a 6-7 year old video, this is good. I like the login theme. It's a standard, but a good standard as well. Animation's decent for the time as well. I like when his eye lights up. It's like his ultimate as well. So animation's pretty good as well. And like I was saying, it flows pretty nice and matches what I imagine Vel'Koz to be as well. So yeah, that was a good login theme. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his story. Let's go. So this is his story, A Different Hunger. So, with a kiss to my wife and resting my spear against my shoulder, I joined my fellows as we left the village. I've got a feeling he's not going to make it back in the evening. The morning was new, with dawn stretching through the thick forest of kog'maw, as the 6 of us made our way to the watch point by a worn dirt path. We were travelling light, as our vigil would only last until the next moon before our band of spearmen took our place. Okay? kog'maw shared borders with Noxus, and its increasing belligerence of late has stirred the house lords to ensure that all of their spears were honed. Just in case, makes sense, it is Noxus. Our journey was short and uneventful. Don't speak too soon. A soldier's dream. The better part of a half day's march brought us within sight of the outpost, and we pointed as the signal fire was lit, welcoming us with a column of thin white smoke. The mood among the comrades was light, the easy talk of bonded brothers and neighbours. Though our duty was to watch the frontier in search of any sign of it, war in kog'maw was a distant thought. When we arrived, we found the gates to the stockade open and unbarred, yet not broken or forced. An odd feeling crept over us, like a chill dancing up our spines. I could see it in the others, just as surely as I felt it in myself. We formed a tiny shield wall, 2 ranks of 3 men, and entered the stockade, expecting to find slaughter, ruin, and destruction, with signs of Noxus for all to see. But we found none of this. What we discovered was the picture of an outpost no different than any other. The fires had crackled down to embers beneath cooking pots that were still full. Pardon me. Clothes hung drying, and the lanterns were still on their poles from the night before. We looked at each other in alarm, in confusion. It was as if our comrades had simply disappeared. Well, I tell you what's going to happen. Vel'Koz mentions about destruction, and that's the only way he learns. So no doubt he's destroyed these guys. There's nothing left of them. And now he's learned. What could have happened here? Whispered Bell. Our walls straightened and broke as we searched the outpost for any search of life. Could they have been captured? Asked Ulrich. I approached the wall of the stockade. A stripe of the timber was burnt blacker than pitch. I reached towards it, and the barest touch of my fingertips sent it crumbling, revealing a crater of smooth wood underneath. The others found similar marks across the camp, though none of us could fathom how they had been made. A cry sent us all back into the warrior's crouch. Come quick. It was Afron. We ran to him, finding him standing over a body. It's Halran, he said, looking to us, the tanner's boy. The young man was pale, lying fetal on the ground. We saw no sign of battle in him, no blood or wounds. I drew my knife, sticking to my haunches. I brought the blade beneath Harun's nose. The day was cold, and shallow puffs of breath clouded the steel in a slow, stilted rhythm. He yet lives, I said, reaching for his shoulder. We leapt away as soon as I rolled him onto his back. Halron's eyes were open, yet there was nothing there. From what we could tell, he was conscious, but his right eye simply stared up at the sky, empty of light. That was not what we had recoiled from. By the gods, Ulrich breathed. Afron spat to avert evil, and we joined him. Okay. Where Halron's left eye had been, only a dark pit remained. I had seen enough battle in my time to know the telltales of a spear or blade, but no weapon I knew could have made such a wound. It was too clean, too precise for battle's disorderly frenzy. No pain marked the boy's face from the horrific injury. Okay, what could have done this to him? Bell demanded. Some beast? A plague? We shrank back from the body at the thought. No, Sayer frowned, his hand straying to the satchel of herbs and whatever that is as his waist. No sign of festering. This wasn't disease. Find the others, ordered Bell. Now. One by one we found them. These were men we knew, men of our village who sold fish and hammered steel. All bore the same wound to the left eye. Interesting. All reduced to the same catatonic state. They appeared almost serene, and all the more horrifying for it. Afron looked at Bell. What do we do? We must give warning, said Ulrich. Yep. Of what? Said Keir. We have no idea what is happening here, they argued. The voices clashed and overlapped. Above it all, I noted the smell of smoke in the air. Wait. The others stopped, looked back at me. I swallowed. If they are all in this state, I pointed back to the signal fire behind us. Then who lit the beacon? Ulrich was in the air before we knew what was happening. A blinding flash stole my sight, but I glimpsed a huge darkened shape against it. Oaths, prayers and curses filled the air from my comrade's lips. They were silenced by a crack like a bullwhip, followed by an overwhelming, fizzing shriek. When I could see it clearly again, I was on the ground. I looked down to see my legs splayed, broken. Other warriors, my brothers and friends, lay staring up at the sky above. I heard only one other voice and turned. I could only watch as Afron, a youth of barely 16, struggled beneath the monster. Bathed in harsh violet light, he writhed as one of the appendages sank into his skull through his eye. His scream stopped as he became a mere husk like the others. Then the monster turned its baleful gaze in my direction. In an instant, it was looming over me. I looked up into that single swollen eye and sensed a hunger beyond imagining, a hunger not of flesh but something far deeper, which we obviously found out in his bio. My soul teetered on the edge of the abyss, its merciless hunger pulling. No. I am Hedenis Kadran, a warrior and a spear of Tokogal. I refused to give it the satisfaction of my cries, even as its tentacle knifed down through my eye. Okay, there was no pain. As I work, this is from the other side now, I think. As I work, the analysis can inflict physical pain, should I desire it, but that is not critical here. I have learned much of pain and its uses. This one's information is precious, as all knowledge is. A settlement interaction casts a particular female of this species and offspring. This one resists my analysis of those, but it is a simple thing to overcome. Oh, hold on a minute. A particular female of this species and offspring. This particular one resists my analysis of those. Is that Kaiser? With nothing more to consume, I travel here to disseminate what I have collected. The rift beneath me is a conduit for information to be passed into the true realm. The creatures that inhabit this world have designated our domain as the Void. Such curious poetry these entities weave, a curiosity that illustrates how far my task is from completion. A universe of knowledge surrounds me, a great power in distant lands, and I shall collect it all. I offer this information now, and all of the rest to come. Accept, consume, learn. Wow, okay, nice combination between the story and the bio. They both complement each other, basically, at least in my opinion. Really good to read this. And like I said at the beginning, the guy, when he set off in the morning, I knew him and the rest of his crew were not going to make it back. So, yeah, I think that's probably actually for Vel'Koz today. He doesn't have any special interactions that I can find. He might have Legends of Runeterra special interactions, but the typical ones he does not have. and I don't think he has a spotlight as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here today, guys, in this one. Hopefully you enjoyed my thoughts, reactions, and the breakdown of all things regarding Vel'Koz. And if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and maybe also subscribe for more content like this. I think this is the last guy I'm going to be doing from the Void, so I'll be moving on to a new region in the following weeks. So before I go, I almost forgot, we have Vel'Koz First Contact, new champion teaser. I've got to do this. So this might tie in nicely with what we've read in the story and the bio. Let's find out.
Your species intrigues me. You seek knowledge, the most valuable resource of all.
Whoa!
As do I.
Jeez! Wow, that ending's nice. So we clearly, this ties in nicely with what we saw. I like it's only showing, it's showing both, but you can see it's focusing on one side of his face, hence why one eye is absorbed. That is clearly what is about to happen to this poor dude here. So yeah, now I think I will leave it here today, guys, in this one. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.